Weola. I love how everything just is like right on the heels of where I wanted to go. I really just want to talk about the body and really bring it back to that physical sensation. And there are times when, the body is asking for maybe it's a certain chemical, maybe it's this antioxidant, like the body knows what it needs. And so there's sometimes I feel like my body wants, and my mind tells me something different because I've got all these maybe beliefs that are about what nutrition is and what really is good for my body and what I believe about the food that I put into my body. And so I'm like ever searching for this more fluid motion between what my body wants and what my mind says. And I want it all to be okay, no matter what, because I do have the belief, and I do believe that my body will do what it needs to do with whatever I nourish it with. Or your body's like, I want this food, and then your mind's like, oh, can't have that, or, whatever it is. And so I just kind of want to, get into that a little bit.
As you go about your day-to-day experience, you can be assured that your body does not need anything. That the needs of your body is never in the focus on any of the cells. Your cells want to dance. Your cells want to move. Your cells within your body want to be dancing between their own question-answer dance. They want to have ease about tipping points of their own question-answer dance. There is this desire for beautiful balance of expansion, of growth, of experiencing more of that ease and satisfaction, asking another question, experiencing more of satisfaction, asking another question, and so on. So there is no this cry for help that comes through from any kind of way. Sometimes your body will signal you that, and instead of thinking that this is what your body says and it needs, you want to go from the place of, okay, I'm seeing that there is some kind of discomfort over here, or I'm getting an alert about particular nutrition to come through. Let me see and really honestly with myself see what is that I have right now. And from your place of beliefs, steady beliefs that you have at that moment, you can see and test variety of things out for you. You can test them out in that moment. You can test them out over the period of time. And your body will tell you about the desire that it has. And that desire is always about the balance. That desire is that you can have the choice of whatever you choose to have as a nourishment to allow you to have it. Kosta has been discovering recently variety of people having variety of different diets. And everyone being satisfied or not so satisfied based off of what they're thinking and how they're experiencing moment by moment in those diets that they're having daily. Committing to vegetarian diet, committing to eating only meat diet, committing to having high calorie diets, or committing to have lower calorie diets. He's doing all this research and seeing it because he's changing physicality after quite some time. His own physicality of playing more sports and being more outdoors and starting to run and starting to dance more and to do a variety of things that he hasn't been doing for as much over the last several years. And then seeing what resonates with him, seeing how much of this nutrition resonates, seeing how often this resonates. This morning he went on a run and felt that because of what he ate last night, that he felt a little heavier about that particular run. In other words, he thought that at that evening last night, he did not plan to eat anything with meat. And there was a little bit of meat involved within that meal. And while he was so enjoying that, that was kind of at the back of the thought for a moment. And as he started running, he remembered that feeling of heaviness that he in a way projected into the future based off of his feeling about that in that moment, that this might cause me some discomfort. And surely in the beginning it did cause a little bit of that because that was active within him. And then as he was looking to run more and more, he's chosen different story. He's chosen to say that there was a nutrition here, there was satisfaction here, and then I can turn this story to be completely different. And he ended up running longer distance than ever before over the last 3-4 weeks since he started running, just because he has chosen at that moment for this nutrition to work for him. He has chosen for this nutrition for him to be empowering enough, because at that moment he already ate this. There was no other choice for him but to enjoy into what was already brought into his body. And while he did enjoy part of it, he did not fully enjoy it until he changed the story during his run. So what we're trying to tell you with this story over here is that you have these options at all times. At the moment as you're bringing nutrition, as you're knowing that there are certain contexts that you're hearing, that sometimes you will eat something because you feel it. Sometimes you will eat something because you feel like it's needed. Sometimes you will feel, and all of that is fine, for as long as you know that at that moment you are making the conscious choice about it. All of that is fine, and so much more satisfying knowing that you have the context that you're using about nutrition and about eating and about checking in with your mind. And sometimes it's your mind habit that brings you to have more of certain things, and sometimes you are excited to try something different and your body is telling you to try something different, but all of it is well. All of it is well within you, for as long as you're the one making choices and not trying to make these swift decisions about rushing to change something immediately or to change something overnight, and allowing yourself for discovery to take place. For as long as you have discovery moving through the experience of any topic at hand, including nutrition, including your physicality of your body, you have the reins in your hands, and then you're moving through your experience with more and more satisfaction.
Yes, okay, I'm with you on that. I like the satisfaction in the feeling of knowing that in moment to moment, I just choose, I listen, and the other part of that is what is happening when I find myself in this battle, when I'm like wanting something and my mind says you can't have it. What's happening there? Why can I not just listen to the body in a pure state and say, okay, we'll take it in, we'll do what we do, and it's all good? I'm so curious about why am I ever pushing up against or finding myself in that moment where my mind says one thing when my body says another. That's like the ultimate, I think, question I'm trying to ask, I think.
It is always about the context. You feeling that something is not good for you, and then trying to put yourself in this place of not trying to do it. You either had an experience and associated with something that's not so satisfying, or you've heard that if you do that and if you consume that, it might give you that experience. But you at all times are having this choice. And sometimes that battle is about changing of your habits, about experiencing something different. Sometimes that context that you have absorbed, regardless of if it's desired or not, if you gave it attention, you absorbed it, and then saying to yourself, you're not supposed to have this, and you sometimes don't even know what the reasons are, and because of that you don't have it. And in also sometimes thinking that if you switch in that direction, you want to have only that. Kosta oftentimes thinks like this about sugar. He feels that this experience, if I open up that door, that I will not be able to stop myself. And only in the times when he feels like that is where he tries to pushes himself not to have it. His body, as you say, would say, go, have something. You know that you love chocolate. You know that it will give you energy. You know you will burn it out in your activity. But then mind says, if you do it then you will do it 3 times a day, 7 days a week. In other words, when you feel so steady and easy about your own question-answer dance as a general experience on a variety of topics, you want to get yourself into that place of ease, and then offer the thoughts about your body, and then offer the thoughts about your nutrition. In other words, going into ping pong from questions on one topic, trying to put something to eat so quickly, and then trying to figure out why do you have these battles within you, is because your mindfulness about allocating time and allocating ease about what you will have, allowing and appreciating your body vessel that allows you to have this and every other physical iteration for that matter, you allow yourself then to really listen. So it's only if you really listen, but listen from the place of ease, because you can also listen from the place of being hectic on some other topic. But if you practice and if you listen from a place of ease, of your own question answer dance as a dominant thing, then when you go into choosing and pointing your attention about what kind of nutrition is at that moment valuable for you, there is really no doubt and there is really no battle to be thought about anything. There is only ease and satisfaction. So oftentimes a lot of teachers, a lot of spiritual teachers, and especially gurus would offer you an opportunity to ease your mind before you would even consider what nutrition, to listen what nutrition, not based off of the context and the habits of thoughts coming through, but really allowing yourself a moment to tune into, not bringing something because you know that anything you bring in will still keep you going. It will still keep you going because your body is so brilliant, but really in that moment deciphering, is this really the salad time? Is this really the sweets time? Is this really the experience of meat? Is this really just maybe not even eating anything at the moment and finding a better moment few moments after until I feel the steadiness of my own question answer dance, and then point my attention towards what is coming as the most sufficient nutrition for this time around.
My last question about this is, in the moment that say there are many options before you about what you can choose to nourish your body with, and you don't know what to choose.
You knowing that there will always be that kind of a choice, and that even more of the choices will come through at what you can have at the moment would release this place of going to something by a habit because that might not be available or might not be good for you at some other time. Often this context, especially about aging and what would you eat on this level and what's better for this and for this and for this, once you find the balance about it, you can always have it all. You do not even have to choose. You can choose what you're going to start with, what you're going to have next, and what you're going to have next. Why do you have to choose 1, 2, or 3 when you can have 1, 2, and 3? Why do you have to choose only one out of variety when you can see and follow yourself moment by moment and see? You will see oftentimes people will do things upside down based off of the contest. They would eat sweets first, and then they will have salad second, they will have the meat third, and in another culture will be like this, in another context will be like this. You are making that context for you at all times, and you do not really have to choose one or another. You can choose just the order of things and experience them all for as long as it's satisfying to you.
That makes sense. I feel pretty good about that. Thank you. Thank you.
Really, really good conversations today.